There's a little news on that front today. We've been following whether there is anything to this report that there may be an ABC whistleblower who we've seen an alleged affidavit. This is not, we haven't been verified. This has not yet been verified as legit, but a Twitter account that goes under the name of Black Insurrectionist has been posting the documents. And in this alleged affidavit, this insider at ABC who says he or she has worked there for 10 years in tech and administrative departments claims that there was an agreement in advance by ABC and the Kamala Harris campaign not to cover certain subjects, including Joe Biden's mental acuity. Now, ABC has denied it in a very generic, weird statement, saying we followed the rules of the debate, which didn't allow us to give questions in advance. That doesn't answer whether they agreed certain topics would be off limits, like mental acuity, or Kamala's brother-in-law, Tony West, who had a bit of a scandal over at the DOJ and continues to be embroiled. And the third topic was Kamala Harris's time as AG. So it's a non-denial denial. And now we have a senator from, I think it's the great state of Kansas, on the record saying he is going to, is it subpoena documents? Yes, subpoena documents from ABC. Do we have that sound, you guys? It's not sound. Okay. It's just him saying it. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Senator Roger Marshall demanding that ABC turn over any communications it exchanged with Kamala Harris's campaign prior to the debate. ABC News did not immediately respond to this request or comment on the letter. But here's what's interesting. If, in fact, there is any sort of a congressional hearing into this, then we'll get oral testimony, which is also evidence. I mean, I got to admit, if ABC did this and, we don't know what the truth is.
Right.
But if they couldn't possibly be stupid enough to put it in writing. However, if there's any sort of a hearing, if there really is an alleged whistleblower, said person could be subpoenaed, is apparently wanting to testify, if this person even exists, wanting to testify and tell their story. And then we might be able to hear this on the record, and this person claims that they have tapes of these conversations. I want to say again, this could all be a hoax. This could be somebody trying to punk us all, just get us talking about this in fairness to ABC. But since nobody will cover the story at all, even after ABC's weird denial, I feel the need to continue reminding people this is out there and it has not been resolved.
No, and there were weirdly specific allegations in that document, such as the request from Kamala's team that her podium be smaller. Stuff like that goes to stagecraft. And it was. And you would think if this were complete bullshit, there would be a total denial from Kamala's camp. The last thing she would want people to think, given that this is criticism number one of her, is that she had been spoon-fed questions or told, don't worry, we're going to keep our gloves on. You're not going to be asked about the things that are most difficult for you to answer. And you would also think, I mean, I don't know, you would know more than I about how it works in network news, but a moderator would also want to be completely like, no. I'm a journalist. I would never.
Yes. But they wouldn't let the moderators speak out. I guarantee you. I mean, when I was at NBC and I had my dust up with Alex Jones, where he was coming for me and we were doing this piece on him, I was like, let me just go out there and talk about, it wasn't actually about him being upset with me. It was about the audience being upset that I was even interviewing him. And I said, let me go out and speak to this. I'm happy to go out there and say, Diane Sawyer interviewed Charles Manson. Mike Wallace interviewed the head of the KKK in his hood. Like, controversial people get interviewed by journalists. It happens all the time. And they would not let me speak to it. They were hardcore, like, no. So there's no doubt in my mind, even if these two moderators wanted to say something, ABC would not allow it. All we've gotten so far is Dana Walden, who is the chairperson, like second in command or up at the top of Disney, coming out, and she was asked this question, I think, at the Emmys, and here's what happened with her.
Got to talk about Kamala Harris. Obviously, the far right has come after you, saying you're friends with her, so the debate was biased. What do you say to that?
I really don't want to dignify it with much of a response. I have the highest regard for everyone at ABC News. It's the most professional organization, the most top-notch journalists, and it doesn't really dignify much of a response.
Is it?
I think it does dignify a response.
Yeah.
We're talking about an incredibly consequential presidential election. Absolutely dignifies a response. And again, correct me if I'm naive in this, but if you are that powerful and you are extremely close friends with this candidate, you introduced her to her husband, would you not say publicly, I am recusing myself from anything having to do with this debate?
Yep.
I am out of it. Like, don't brief me. I don't want to know anything.
Yep.
Right?
Yes,
why not
exactly.
just say that?
And why wouldn't ABC News be more specific in its denial? As Phil Houston always says, by the lie, CIA guy, the truth is your friend when you are a truth teller. You run to it. You love details. You would love to say, let me just be clear. No questions were given. No sample questions were given. No communications with her team about anything substantive around questions was ever discussed. We never agreed that any single subject would be off limits, nor were we asked for such a thing, or we were asked for such a thing, and we refused. Every conversation that we had with the teams was done with both teams present, whatever. Like, it would be a very simple thing to do, just to get on the record the integrity of your news organization, because this story is being spread and highlighted by some very prominent Americans, from Bill Ackman, who's demanding an SEC investigation, Securities and Exchange Commission, because this is a publicly traded company, to Ted Cruz and Elon Musk and beyond. And not to mention President Trump, who went on Gutfeld the other night and actually said the following.
Look, the media is extremely dishonest, extremely corrupt, actually. Look at the debate. I walked off, I said, that's debate. You know, they said I'm the GOAT in debates, because I had a lot of debates and I became president. And the GOAT means greatest of all time. He's a GOAT. And I walked off that stage and I thought I had the best debate. And I was very unfairly treated by the anchor. I'm not fans of those guys anymore. And his hair was better 5 years ago than it is now. Okay? That happens. That happens with the clock.
I mean, who among us?
That happens with the clock. But, you know, they came at me on everything like crime. Yeah. They attacked the bloodbath. That was referring to the auto industry. Right. You know all these things.
Yeah.
Charlottesville was totally debunked by everybody, all of them. And they didn't correct her once, and they corrected me everything I said practically.
And I had Eric Trump on the show the other day after his father was almost shot to death for the second time. Somebody was about to take a shot. And he said, too, we need to look into this. I mean, this allegation from this alleged whistleblower, like, we deserve to have a real answer.
Yeah, I heard that interview. It was great. And yes, I could not agree more. What is the issue? This is the thing. She's only given 6 interviews. What are we, 48 days out now? And yeah. So where's the clamoring for an interview that feels somewhat, I don't mean adversarial for the sake of adversarial, but I really do mean sitting down with an outlet that isn't an MSNBC or an Oprah or run by your best friend, that's going to put questions to you that are substantive, and let's see if you can answer them. The media loved nothing more when Sarah Palin was running for VP. They loved nothing more. Saturday Night Live is about to premiere very soon. Are we going to see this kind of skewering? You know, Tina Fey became a superstar off of her Palin impression, but we're not going to get that with Kamala.
They'll hurt her in ways that don't really hurt her.
Exactly.
They'll have a joke at her expense that never really lays a glove on her. I mean, what about a press conference? Let's just see. Give us 1 hour standing. Charlie Kirk tweeted this the other day in front of a diverse press corps with all different outlets, and answer multiple questions from multiple different outlets. And then you'll at least get some adversarial questions in there, which are important. Skepticism in news is important. It's the way the system works, especially when it comes to politicians. She'll never do it. You did not vote for this economic downturn and the high inflation, but you could be paying for it at the pump, the grocery store, and with growing stacks of unpaid bills. Financial stress can be crushing, and one solution could be donewithdebt.com. Done With Debt created new, aggressive strategies designed to get you out of debt permanently without bankruptcy or loans. Done With Debt can stand between you and bill collectors. They negotiate with your creditors to write off balances, cut interest, and stop penalties. And the best news is Done With Debt is accepting new clients right now. But you do need to hurry, because some of their debt relief strategies are time sensitive and you don't want to miss out. Let Done With Debt hit the debt reset button for you and make your money yours again. Visit donewithdebt.com or call 1-888-322-1054 now. Chat with one of their debt relief strategists for free. That's donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.